Hey guys, it is Thursday. It's May 5th today. The only reason I know that is because Civil War comes out tomorrow, and we've got a big event with the charity I work at. I've been getting so much vehicular stalking, but I'm not going to do a vehicular stalking video probably today, because I know I've been hitting y'all up with a lot of those. I think a lot of target individuals are right. They've been, some of my friends who are target individuals, they're like, it really distracts from the main thing that's the directed energy weapon attacks. I've had a couple of comments like that. I've had a couple of, I've had a couple of comments that are very questionable on my site. I really am getting vehicular stalking on tape. It really is. Some of it may not be, but I'm getting a large pie piece of vehicular stalking on tape. But I do kind of agree in the way that, my organizers for my attacks, they've beefed up my vehicular stalking as because I'm videotaping it so much. So it must be, doing something for them where it keeps my focus on that, and then I kind of get off of the bigger issue of the directed energy weapon attacks. 2 days ago, this week, I actually hooked up with another TI in my city, which is great. We talk to each other, and talk about each other's situations. It really helps. It helps us both, I think. And we're probably going to start talking a lot more and kind of planning some things, maybe trying to find some other TIs in the city. Please, if you are a TI in Louisiana, contact me by email so we can maybe put together some campaigning, for target individuals. But, I started talking with the TI in my area, and, it was like the night of it, I got hit really hard. They just hit me in the top of the head. Hit me in the top of the... I went to sleep. I drank a little bit of wine that night, and they hit me, while I was asleep. They hit me in the top of the head so hard that I woke up, and I guess it was ELF, a directed energy beam, just straight to the top of my head all night long in one spot, right in the middle. And it really, I was late for work, because it hurt me so bad. It just hurt, the whole top of my head. It felt it just felt really horrible. And I'm not really sure if the people next to me actually do have some ground weapons that they're just putting right on my head now, because they've had a lot of time, and the people next to me are involved in street theater and stuff like that, and they'll go out to their car late at night and turn the alarm on and off and stuff like that. I'm actually getting cuts. They're cutting my tire, my front right tire. There are actually slits in it, to where they're cutting little slits, and I guess that ruins the tire, and gets the metal mesh underneath to show more. But we're setting up for this charity event, and I'm just working through it. But it's really weird, because it's I wasn't even driving my car to it. I was driving with my brother, and we were moving a lot of stuff to the charity event, setting up for it, and I was getting vehicular stalked in that group. So it's I don't even get that. I'm not alone. It's I'm not even driving, and they're putting cars around, one light vehicles and police, and it's we're moving, we have a moving truck that we're moving all the stuff with, so it's really dangerous. But I don't know, it's kind of who cares, as long as I get vehicular stalking on tape. I don't care if mine's that big. It actually was. It's getting dangerous because I had one young man in sunglasses, and he was a part of this. He did a. I was driving down kind of a busy street in my city, and he pulled out of a parking lot of a supermarket, and he jerked into my lane, and it was a purposeful trying to, I guess trying to make me react so that I'd get into a wreck, or so it would startle me. And it was a young man. I mean, he couldn't have been. I mean, he had to have been under 20 years old. And that's the kind of dangerous stuff that vehicular stalking does, because they're telling these people to patrol people or whatever, and these people aren't trained. They don't know what they're doing. And you get somebody who has a bad day or something and thinks that they can screw around or harass a target individual, and then you get something like that. You get very dangerous. There's a EMS worker right there. I mean, my vehicular stalking is very huge in the city, but I know it's not just for me. I know there are other target individuals, and these people make rounds. They make rounds on all the target individuals that kind of live in this area. It's weird that I've only talked to one. I know the reason for that is because a lot of people who are targeted really don't come out. You guys on the doing videos and on the conference calls and leaving comments, y'all have come out. You've admitted this is going on, and there's a lot of us that have, and we're trying to deal with it. But I really think there are a lot more who never say anything, and I think that's dangerous for them. But I just wanted to check in. I haven't made a video in a while, so I wanted to check in with you guys. I wanted to just let y'all know, I'm doing, okay for not. What is my good TI buddy? He always says, not doing the worst, not doing the best, so that's good. That's good. And getting on those conference calls, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of technical people with a lot of technical knowledge really trying to solve this problem, get some good defenses for us, so we don't have to suffer with this. So getting on those conference calls on TalkShoe is very important. Email me if you want information on that. I may make some public comments about some calls, especially the main call for FFCHS on Saturday night, where there's 250 people all the time on that call. But I just wanted to check in, kind of see how you guys are doing. I hope y'all are doing okay. Still doing the magnet therapy. It does make me feel better after I do it. I take all my stuff off, my Q-Wave defenders and everything, and I do magnet therapy. I'm not quite sure, if I have a chip, but I've looked on the internet, and I've seen a lot of these people with ICE Act. They'll do RF meters on people, and a lot of people who are targeted do have they're getting RF readings in their left and right TMJ, in their TMJ areas. Because it's such a regular thing, I do have suspicions, and I do think the more that I do the magnet therapy, the more it's going to screw up anything that I do have in my teeth or anything. I was also researching that a lot of and Deborah Tavares talked about this, the amalgam fillings that have metal in them. The dentists don't know about this, but they're using a certain amalgam to do those fillings, and that picks up a lot of this electromagnetic frequency. So that's maybe why it hurts me so much around both of my TMJ joints, or it could be that there is something in there dentally put in, because I've seen a lot of these TIs tested. They'll have an RF meter, and I actually put a AM radio next to my face when this first started, and got a lot of static, got a huge signal on my left TMJ joint. But I'm just going to keep on continuing with magnet therapy. It is making me feel better, but I have some pretty strong attacks from directed energy weapons. I mean, we're talking about military grade weapon attacks while I'm sleeping. So and the V2K he's pretty serious about it. He wants to kind of wrap me up, and I guess get me to the next stage. He says he's tired, and he wants to get this done, but I don't know what he's talking about, because it would just, the worst is that I would go to the next level, like I guess be homeless, or it'd hurt me so bad that I have to go to the hospital or something. So I don't know what he's talking about. I think he just wants it to go on and on. And even if he took care of me, I think he would just move on, to somebody else, because he's been trained with the equipment now. So, definitely not going to let him do that. Not going to let him move on to another person or another family after what he's done to my family. But we're chugging along, and I don't really talk to my family about this. I just tell them I love them and talk about other stuff. They usually change the subject if I ever talk about any of this, which does hurt, but they're still my family. I still love them, and I understand why they don't believe this is happening and want to just change the subject, because they've got a lot of stuff going on. They've got a lot of stuff to take care of. I've got a lot of responsibilities on top of this that, so close. I watch it, and it's so close to this really important event that we work a long time for. This guy is amping up the vehicular stalking and amping up the directed energy weapon attacks. And I understand the reason he does that is because they like to hide the attacks and how bad you're being attacked. They like to hide it within things. So if I tell somebody now, like, I have an important event coming up and the attacks have increased, then somebody can make an excuse and say, well, you're just stressed out, so that's why you're getting worse headaches, or that's why you think this, because you're paranoid or whatever, and it's exacerbating a mental illness or something like that. So I understand why they do that. To me, it's the most cowardly thing I've ever known of. This guy knows that I work for a charity. He knows that I care about this job. It's cancer kids and stuff, and it's important work. It's definitely important, and it's important to back my mom up, because she puts a lot of faith in me, and she trusts me to do the work. And it's like I came in and I told her, because I was late for work, and it's just like I had to tell her what was going on. I guess I should have said, like, oh, my Crohn's disease is acting up, and just lied to her so she wouldn't be so stressed out. But instead, I was like, they hit me in the head really hard. It was really hard. It felt dangerous. It felt like, if something, like, if my head wasn't such a huge rock, like, if it wasn't rock, I don't know, it seemed very dangerous, a little bit more dangerous than usual. There's the state police right there. But anyway, so things are chugging along, and I just kind of wanted to check in. And I know this is hard on all you guys, the targeting. I'm thinking about how we can't always do something about this, and how sometimes, you're going to get the V2K, and you're going to get, hit with directed energy weapons and the high-pitched sound. And I've been way too... What makes me angry a lot is they've gotten me away from my spiritual side. They've done a great job with that. At the beginning, I had a strong spiritual side that kept me very strong. And lately, I have so much stuff to do, and I'm so busy doing this and that, and I'm grounded in the physical world, and so when they're torturing me, I'm grounded in it, and they've got me hooked to it. They've got me hooked to the V2K, and the directed energy weapon attacks, the high-pitched sound and everything. They've got me hooked, on this physical world. So, I don't know.